Okay, so my computer is lagging just a bit, but here we go. I wanted to do kind of a fun walkthrough for an analysis prompt. Now, I have the pleasure of teaching English 2 honors this year, so I have an English 2 honors class. We just finished 1984, so this is going to be a walkthrough using a fictional passage, but the skills are transferable to nonfiction. But before we start, I wanted to point out this trope I saw in the puzzle I did the other morning. See if you can see it better. So, ahead of our time. That's the trope. The head of our time is emoji. So that's punny, and that's one of the tropes that we went over the other day in the tropes video. So here is the walkthrough. I started with my hook. Imagine being constantly in fear of the KGB in Cold War East Berlin. Imagine the constant surveillance of a spy living in a foreign country like North Korea. Because you know the South Koreans and the Americans try to get spies in there to see what's happening. So that's my hook. If you noticed, I used parallelism and two hypothetical instances. Okay. And here's my prompt. Read the following passage from 1984 and analyze how the language of the author creates a certain mood. Consider diction, syntax, and figurative language. Okay. So this is similar to the prompt that I'm going to give my sophomores this week. So I would just go straight through line by line. Before I do that, just kind of zero in on what they're asking in the prompt. And they're asking for mood. Mood is the atmosphere created by the author, in this case, George Orwell. So I can talk about word choice, I can talk about sentence structure, and I can talk about tropes, okay, figurative language. So you can see right away he uses, this is just chapter 1, the opening, a lot of imagery and very frigid diction, okay, highly connotative, sort of imposing and harsh diction. You could see the imagery of Winston, our main character, being old and weak and uncomfortable. Okay, he lives at Victory Mansions, which is another trope. That's irony, because this place is anything but a mansion. It's completely run down. The lift, okay, that's a British colloquial for the elevator, you know, doesn't work all the time. Okay, it's a bright, cold day. Okay, his chin is nuzzled into his breast. He's so uncomfortable. That's cacophonous diction. Okay, the dust is swirling and it's gritty. There's the sensory detail of the hallway and the cabbage, and then there's the poster tacked to the wall, which has sort of a haphazard, okay, sloppy, cheap connotation. It depicted simply an enormous face, more than a meter wide, the face of a man of about 45, I'm 52, so younger than me, with a heavy black mustache and ruggedly handsome features. And of course, you've probably read 1984, so you know this is Big Brother. So all the syntax here is longer, compound, complex, sort of building up. And then Winston made for the stairs. That's a short, simple declarative. It was no use trying to lift. That's another short, simple declarative where he talked about how this ironic, it's called Victory Mansions when the elevator does not work. So I would just go through it, and then you pick out the tropes that you think stand out. Okay, and I'll post this one to the video if you want to look through it further. Essentially, Big Brother is watching you, the caption said, and these dark eyes are looking down at you constantly, looking into your eyes. So let's go back to, there's my family. Let's go back to the practice. And I'm typing this up because it timed right. Okay. This is how Winston must have felt in Oceania. And then I would answer the prompt. Orwell uses, and then my three predominant strategies. I'm going to go with imagery, longer compound complex syntax, and imposing and harshly connotative diction. Okay, so those are the three. And then I'm going to try to tie them to my formula. Remember my formula? It's posted on my whiteboard every day for like, I don't know, 4 months. Rhetorical choice in order to effective verb TPE. Okay. I'll type it in here in case you've forgotten. Get my fingers warmed up. Okay, so the rhetorical choice could be the imagery, could be the syntax, could be the diction type. Okay, and then the effective verb could be like conveys, illustrates, demonstrates, reflects, implements, paints a picture of, and then the tone, purpose, effect. We want to tie all that back to mood because that's what this particular prompt asks for. And just as in the AP Lang exam, if they ask for mood, you got to give them mood. If they ask for the message of the speaker, you have to tie everything back to the message of the speaker. If they ask for the mind state of the speaker or the narrator, then you have to tie everything back to the state of mind of the speaker or the narrator. That's the TPE part. So I'm going to put imagery, create an old, weak, imposing mood. And then I'm going to put compound, complex syntax, mirrors the harsh mood of our exposition. I'm going to use a lit term because this is literature. And then I'm going to talk about the diction. And I always say, like, add an adjective to the diction. So it could be, highly connotative diction, subjective diction, objective diction, figurative diction, abstract diction. I have like 26 terms if you go back through the diction. So I would say imposing, thank you, Ms. Cast, imposing, harshly connotative diction. So those are my three. I'm going to kind of build my paragraphs around those three and then try to give as much commentary, as many quotes as possible to back up those three and to back up this mood of this very imposing, uncomfortable, harsh atmosphere that Winston is living in Victory Mansions and in Oceania and beyond. And then I would maybe bring that full circle at the end, just as you would feel as a South Korean spy living in North Korea and feeling the constant threat of surveillance or detection. But you're not a spy. Winston's not a spy. He's just merely a thought criminal. So, hope this helps. Thanks, everybody.